welcome back to my channel, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. I am back with another Jersey Shore Family Vacation Season 3 review. This review is for episode 24, so if you did not see my review for episode 23, please go get caught up on that episode before you watch this one, just so that you know everything that's went down so far. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you are notified whenever I upload another video. And let's just get right into this review because this episode had a lot that went down and there's a lot to discuss. So as you know, if you watched last week's episode of the show, you would know that Jenny was really upset at Vinnie because she felt like when he told the story about what went down between Angelina and 24 in the club, she felt like he downplayed it to her, but when he had the conversation with the rest of the roommates, he made it seem bigger than what he made it seem to her. So she was upset about that because she felt like he was tiptoeing around telling her the truth, and so she felt some type of way about it. Now, she did end up making up with Angelina and everybody else, but now she has to have the conversation with Vinnie, so she ends up showing up to the hotel, and she goes into the girls' room rather than going into the boys' room first because she just doesn't want to deal with the awkwardness of having to have the conversation with Vinnie. And the boys are like hyping the situation up. They're in the room with Vinnie, making him nervous to have the conversation with Jenny. They're making jokes that she's gonna backhand him the same way she backhand Mike back in season 1, and they're just not helping the situation, but they definitely make it a lot more funnier. Now, the boys end up coming into the girls' room, okay, because they were trying to get the conversation done and over with, but Jenny did not want to have the conversation with Vinnie at the time because she just wanted to enjoy herself because this was the last night that they were all going to be together celebrating Angelina's bachelorette. So everyone decides to go to dinner before they go partying to celebrate their last night in New Orleans for Angelina's bachelorette. And when they go to dinner, they all decide to go around the table and each do an individual toast to Angelina for her wedding, okay? And I thought it was a sweet gesture that they decided to do that because Angelina never really felt welcome within the group from the Jersey Shore, okay? When she first came to the show, she kind of fit in with the other girls and stuff like that, and Snooki was kind of the outcast at one point, but then everybody started to realize that Angelina was a real bitch. She ended up leaving the first season of the show, and then she ended up coming back for the second season in Miami. She ended up getting into an altercation with Snooki, and then she ended up leaving once again, and then they finished out the rest of the original Jersey Shore without Angelina and had Dina as her replacement. Now that they decided to let her back on the show for Jersey Shore Family Vacation, I feel like she never really felt welcome again when she came back. But I think that now that everyone is excited for her to be getting married and everyone's giving these sweet toasts to her, I feel like she finally feels like she's a part of the group. Now, when Jenny gives her little toast to Angelina, she says something like she's excited to be a part of Angelina's wedding because Angelina had asked her and the two other girls to be in her wedding party. And so Jenny still thinks she's going to be a part of the wedding party. Now, Angelina said in her interview that she actually asked somebody else to take Jenny's spot when her and Jenny ended up getting into it about the whole 24 thing. So she replaced Jenny in her wedding, and I was so interested to see how Jenny was going to feel once Angelina let her know about that. Now, Vinnie ended up giving his speech, okay, and I was surprised at what he said because I guess because him and Angelina grew up living very close to each other, I don't know if they went to school together or if they just ran in the same circle, but Vinnie was not as attractive back then as he is right now, and so he would see Angelina with all these juice heads back in the day, and he would always think that he would never get a girl like that. So this is what he said in his speech, and Angelina felt like it was him finally admitting that he's had feelings for her. I don't think that Vinnie had feelings for her. Maybe he had a crush on her at one point before they got on Jersey Shore, but their personalities definitely do not mesh together, and I don't think Vinnie would ever try to date Angelina. I just think that maybe there is some type of chemistry between the two of them, though. Now, as they're walking out of the restaurant so that they can go to the clubs and bars to enjoy the remainder of their night, Jenny is looking at Pauly's butt and Snooki calls it out right in front of everybody, and that's where the whole flirting between Jenny and Pauly began in this episode. Now, Vinnie decides to pull Jenny to the side when they go to the bar because he wants to get the conversation over with her because he really doesn't like the tension. Now, he admits that maybe he did downplay the situation a little bit to Jenny because he didn't want to trash 24 to her because Angelina was already trashing 24, okay? She was calling calling him John Cena on crack and everything. And Jenny did not like it. And so he didn't want to do the same thing that Angelina was doing to 24. And so he told her the way that he wanted to tell her. Now, I think that Jenny is overdoing the whole situation with Vinnie, because I don't think Vinnie really did anything wrong. He did tell her what happened, even if it wasn't exactly the way she wanted him to tell her. At least he said something, okay? She was able to see it for herself on TV and saw what she saw. So technically, Vinnie didn't lie. He just didn't make it seem as bad as it actually was. Now, Jenny ended up accepting his apology, and she let him know that she just felt betrayed and she felt a little bit disappointed in Vinnie because he wasn't being completely honest with her. As the two of them were having this conversation, everyone ended up going outside to eavesdrop on their conversation, and Vinnie seems visibly annoyed that everybody came out there because he really wanted to have the serious conversation with Jenny to get the awkwardness over with, but Pauly was too busy out there staring at them, had the conversation, yelling to Jenny to punch Vinnie in the face, which I thought was funny, but she ended up putting her hands on him, the way she hit Mike back in the day, but I still thought that the scene was funny. Now, they end up going to a strip club, okay? They're drinking and partying and having a good-ass time. They look like they were having so much fun. I think that if Angelina did not have the boys come to her bachelorette celebration, I don't think she would be having as much fun as she's having right now, because Dina was, planning a pretty boring trip. She had them do that stupid ghost tour for a bachelorette party. So the boys definitely came in and saved the day. Now, Angelina decides to get the conversation over with Jenny to let Jenny know that she replaced her in her wedding, because Jenny had asked her if she still had her spot in Angelina's wedding, and Angelina let her know that because the two of them weren't getting along, she didn't think that Jenny even wanted to come to the wedding anymore, and so she asked one of her really close friends to replace Jenny in the wedding. Jenny seemed to understand and didn't seem like she was mad at Angelina at all. I hope she's not actually mad at Angelina, because if you get into a big fight with somebody and their wedding is coming up and they ask you to be in it, you can't necessarily expect for them to keep you in their wedding when the two of you are going at it so bad that you guys are getting ready to throw wine bottles at each other. So even though they made up, I don't think that Jenny should be a part of Angelina's wedding. I do think she should be invited because the two of them did make up with each other, but as far as her being a part of the wedding party, I don't think that she should be in it. Now, they end up partying at the strip club, and there was this stripper, okay, that was dancing all over Snooki. Snooki felt uncomfortable with how much the girl was dancing and shaking her ass off in her face. So the girl gets on Ron and starts dancing all over Ron. Now, Ron really didn't seem that interested in having the stripper dance all over him, because he gets himself into a lot of trouble over the years. We've seen the show and we've seen all the trouble that, Ron gets into when he's at the club. So he really was kind of trying to avoid this stripper, although she was dancing all over him. They seemed like they were having a really good time, though. Now, Paulie and Jenny were getting awfully cozy with each other in the strip club. He was all over her. She was all over him. He was asking her how much it would cost for her to give him a lap dance. It was funny to see the two of them all over each other, because if you remember back in season 1 of the original Jersey Shore, the two of them had a thing for each other in the first season, to the point where they were kissing and making out and dancing in the club. And they got really cozy with each other in Paulie's room in one episode, and he actually showed her his piercing on his private area. So I was interested to see if that was going to go down in this particular episode. Now, everyone was trying to egg them on to hook up with each other because they saw how cozy they were getting at the club. And you could tell that Jenny seemed a little bit uncomfortable with everybody amping the whole thing up, because obviously she's always had a crush on Pauly, and I think the feeling is mutual with Pauly, but everybody adding their input into it kind of made the whole scene a little bit awkward. Now, they decide to leave the strip club and they can't find Snooki. They look over and they see Snooki on a chair, knocked out cold, sleeping, snoring and everything. I was like, this girl is knocked out, okay? So they have to pick her up and carry her onto the friggin' party bus. Pauly is inside the party bus, not helping them pick up Snooki to put her in the bus, and he's claiming that she's dead because the way that she was passed out in the chair. I was like, this girl definitely knows how to party. If I could party with anybody in this cast, it would definitely be Snooki. Now, Pauly ends up climbing into bed with Jenny when they get back to the house. And everyone is friggin' making it a huge deal, okay? Everyone ends up leaving the room and shutting the door on the two of them because they want them to hook up so bad, because of they never actually ended up hooking up in season 1 of Jersey Shore, and they haven't hooked up since then. So everybody was excited to see it maybe finally happen. Now, they didn't actually end up hooking up and everybody was booing the whole thing, but how could they hook up in a room with Snooki drunk on the bed next to them, snoring her little heart out, okay? She was drunk, sleeping in the room, which I don't know why Jenny felt so uncomfortable to sleep with Pauly with Snooki in the room sleeping, because on the original Jersey Shore, she had slept with dudes before with Snooki right there in the room. One episode, she was pulling the guy's sock off in the room with Jenny and the guy while they were hooking up with each other. But they are a lot older now, and I can understand why she would feel uncomfortable with that situation. So they end up going outside of the room, and everyone starts booing the two of them because they wanted them to hook up. Hell, I wanted them to hook up with each other. I think that it would have been epic if the two of them would have hooked up with each other because of the history that they have with one another. Now, everybody decides to go their separate ways and go into their own rooms, and Jenny lets Angelina know that the reason why she didn't want to sleep with Pauly was because one time, I think they were in New York and they were celebrating, I think, Jenny's birthday, and the two of them were all over each other once again. And when she went back to his hotel room, he shut the door on her. He really didn't want to hook up with her at the time, and she was saying that she was in the middle of, separating and getting a divorce from Roger at the time. So Angelina gets upset because she wants the two of them to hook up with each other because she knows the two of them want to hook up. So she goes to the boys' room to have a conversation with Paulie and Vinnie, and Paulie says that the reason why he did not hook up with Jenny this particular night was because her and Roger weren't even divorced at the time. I think they were in the middle of a divorce, and he didn't know that if he would have slept with Jenny, that she would have been right back with Roger again, and then it would have been an awkward situation. So I can understand why Paulie did not want to do it back then, but he said that the reason why he didn't do it this time is because he was unsure if Jenny was actually single, because her and 24 had just recently broke up with each other, and again, he doesn't want to hook up with her, and then she gets right back with this dude, and then he's left there feeling awkward because he just slept with her and now she's back with her other dude. He's not used to Jenny being single because Jenny is literally always in a relationship. He wants to have sex with Jenny. Jenny wants to have sex with him. It's just going to really be a matter of when and where it ends up happening. Now, both Pauly and Jenny said that they would be interested in actually talking to each other. So I think that them hooking up would lead to probably a relationship, them maybe dating a little bit and them having a relationship. But at the same time, they don't want to jeopardize their friendship because they do have a very strong friendship and they do the show together. And so if they ended up breaking up or didn't end up working out, it could be a Ron and Sam situation and nobody wants another Ron and Sam saga. Okay, so maybe that's the reason why they're nervous to hook up with each other. But I think Jenny is back with 24 at this time, so I don't think that the hookup between her and Pauly is going to happen anytime soon, although I do think that they would be a really good couple together, and I honestly think that it would work out between the two of them if they did decide to get together, because they understand each other's lifestyles, and I just feel like they've had really strong chemistry with each other for the past 10 years. So the episode ended up cutting there. I was disappointed that they did not hook up with each other, but it was a very entertaining episode. So let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Would you like to see a Jenny and Pauly hookup, or do you think that they should keep it strictly as friends? Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you are notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you to all my subscribers for the support. I appreciate you all, and until next time, I will see you guys in my next video.